So good morning, everyone. See, yesterday I told you many method that global enterprises structure can be creatable. Why we have to create a structure? Otherwise, the respective module setups not possible. Relevant module got integrated in that enterprises structure component itself. So we can easily identify the dependency. So three method that structure can be creatable, but one can be loadable for only one time it is loadable for configurator, that is called establishment enterprise structures task. Mostly this can be used for our demo or flowchart purpose. Second one, traditionally can be used for each task we have to perform. From the scratch, all the tasks based on the form has been designed, we have to do it. Third one, like a rapid. A rapid is given by Oracle to complete this structure creation in a fastest mode. For that, one template can be downloadable, even it can be set up file. So same template can be used for any instances possible. First, we have to download the template and we have to follow the instruction given by Oracle in that particular template. Some limitations are there, some advantages also there. Yesterday, I have given some kind of a setup for a training. So I asked my participants to complete that individual ledger, but with the existing chart of account and calendar. So we created around 11 primary ledger, each ledger one legal entity, each ledger and legal entity one business unit, and each business unit we defaulted one RDS, and that legal entity got associated to our US kind of location along with our currency, that is called LDG. Also, I have given an instruction how to convert implementation user as a legal or employee user through the task called manage user under FSM. So why we have to do this manage users? Everything I will show you today. So when we are doing a rapid, yesterday I told you how to download the rapid and how to fill, how to validate, how to convert it as a zip1 and zip2, and where we can upload chart of account 1, and after succeeded, how you can upload our ledger legal entity and all. So that task I didn't show you. So that is why. So I have a file which I already showed it to you for rapid setup steps. I'm going to show you when I use the two template, for example, chart of account template as well as the second template, how to review the file, what is the advantages compared to our individual task. I'm going to show you today as a first task. There is no lab for that. So you people created manually primary ledger, manually business unit, manually you did many things. How it can be automated? For that, I uploaded two files for my user. That is why when I explained the topic yesterday, A12 I used for individual task. Partially chart of account got loaded and remaining we did like a individual task. Let me share my screen. Everybody listen. Let me share my screen. So let me open my rapid setups. So any questions, you can stop me. So listen carefully. These are all I already uploaded. The first upload, once it is succeeded 3 files or a 3 concurrent program or a scheduled process, system will taken care of our value set, structure, instance, deployment, values, even parent and child ranges, all will be taken care of by the system automatically. All will be taken care of by the system automatically. Only one condition I told you before upload, ensure your deployment status in tick mark. Otherwise, it will throw error. So which I already show it to you, but simply I can show you one more time. So setup and maintenance. Setup and maintenance. Setup and maintenance. So financial as an offering. Financial, it's an offering. Manage chart structure. So we can verify. We are not going to create. We are just going to verify whether that upload has been successfully completed. Upload has been successfully completed. Manage structure A00. Yes, it is created with the 4 segments. If you do any changes, redeployment mandatory. Similarly, structure instance is also completed by the system with the help of structure. Without a structure, there is no instance. So if I'm going to enable this, then deployment mandatory. During GL, we will do that. So this is because of training instance. It is not tick mark. It is in edited mode. We can call it as 3 mode. We can see here, tick, edited, into mark, error. Error, it will come based on some kind of like, somebody not enable the proper segment label call, primary balancing and natural account. If not enable, it will come as an error. Already one person is running this deployment. Same another user, they are going to do a deployment. Again, that error will come. Maybe your database, it is low down, then the error will come, metadata. Remaining, there won't be any problem. Second upload, once it's completed. So what all I'm going to review, quickly I will complete. So first one, review after upload zip2. What are all the bold color mandatory? Let me copy the task and then paste here. Accounting calendar A00, it's already there. So edit. Already up to 2024, which is there. So what I'm going to do, add here. If you want, I can add ACCT 13 and then add here 2025 will come and then save. Again add here 2026. Likewise, minimum 10 years we will create at the time of our fresh implementation. It's a training up to 2025, which is most sufficient. Which is most sufficient. And then save and close. So what I did here, the calendar has been created by the second upload. I just review if necessary, I can add the year. Otherwise, no problem. Clear? Super. Second task, currency, which is there already. Daily rate only for foreign. Primary ledger, let me copy. So click on done. Paste it here. Ensure the primary ledger has been successfully created with the tick mark. What is the chart of account? What I have given in Excel, A00 US is my chart of account. A00 US, that is my calendar. A00 US, that is called balance cubes with the help of review and submit configuration program. And because of the country, US has come. This cannot be editable here. Ensure there is a tick mark should be there. If the into mark it's there, then you have to find out 2 steps. 1, specify ledger option. 2, review and submit configuration program has to be completed. Otherwise, we never get our tick mark. Clear? Right. Specify ledger option. When you do specify ledger option, What is the disadvantage? Oracle, they have given a same naming convention to one for primary, second one for secondary ledger. So don't select the second. During our GL class, we will play the second one. If you wrongly selected the second one, it will ask you what is your primary ledger, what is your secondary ledger. That you can't do. Same spelling. Clear? So you have to choose the first one. I'll repeat. We have to choose the first one. The scope must be our primary ledger. So after upload, ledger name can be changeable. Is it clear? Ledger name can be changeable. Calendar name can be changeable. Code cannot be changed. Is it clear? Code for technical, name for the functional. So January 23, it is there. So I want to choose December 24 for our class and then 3 future period. This code, how it has come. How this has come. Let me open my Excel, which I sent it to all yesterday through the template. In that, let me open my Excel sheet. So in that, what is our first segment? In that first segment, what is our child code? 01. What is the child code for department? 000. What is the child code for intercompany? 00. What is our natural account for retained earnings? It is 3310. It is 3310. That 3310, it's took because of like a we selected as a proper one. So all the 3 segments like a first segment and first child value remaining, it took from here properly. So that's the reason this code combination is mandatory. Remaining, which is not mandatory, but we can manually enter after upload possible. So yesterday I told my participants to enter this code combination manually. Clear? This is because of automatically came with the help of Rapid. With the help of Rapid. Right. So suspense account, it's not there. It's required during our GL class. We will play. So 2990. Remaining, I don't want to change anything, but I will change it to 400. Why I'm changing it to 400? I will tell you in the relevant cross validation topic. Reconciliation I enable, intercompany I enable, and document sequencing we can do it in the relevant topic. So average balance I don't want. Remaining during our GL class, we will come back. So just to save, sometimes the cumulative translation account, if it's not properly selected, it will shout and then save and close. I have not created a specify ledger option. I reviewed my specify ledger option. Clear? Now, legal address already there. Legal entity already there. Assign legal entity. Let me check. What is the red color, right? These 3 tasks, you keep it in mind. This is one for associating ledger and legal entity. Associate ledger and legal entity. So let me copy the task. The scope must be selected properly. Then it is already taken by the system automatically. How it is taken? Because in this particular Excel, in the companies and legal entity, through the BSV, we have already associated. Clear? Through the BSV. BSV means balancing segment value. We already associated. And then the next task I'm going to explain. So assign balancing segment value. So for you people, you have not done, but if you want, we can do it during our respective intercompany topics. Intercompany topics. So next I will move on to our assign, review and submit, primary ledger, and then account hierarchy. All are we completed. Now I can go to my manage locations. Manage location. When you are doing through Rapid. So location, it's not mandatory at the time of creating our business unit when we are using Rapid. So let me show you. So even it can be enterable for expenses and other module, it is very, very important for assigning a location, especially for order management and all. It is very, very important. So I can use Bhaskaran NY lock 1. Lock means location. Address, I can give a same. Postal code, I can give 10,001. 10,001. It's a training instance. Some of the bugs are there. What are all the bug? I will show you in the relevant place. So when you are in this screen, Oracle, they have given 3 buttons before clicking on submit. You have to follow the same. If you straight away submit the training instance, what will happen? It will give some kind of an error, or sometimes it won't saved properly. So let me submit. Now RDS, I told you I'm going to create my own RDS, but in real time, when we created our own RDS, then we can use either in real time, either user defined RDS or common also possible. But to explain the topic, so I want to create. So manage reference data set. You have a question. Bhaskaran, yesterday you completed. No, I completed only for A12, which is not my prefix. So my prefix is A00. So through the rapid, I'm just explaining this topic. So you people are not using a rapid. I'm using a rapid. What is the advantage? This is all I want to explain to my participant. So that's why I'm doing one more time. Next, I will move on to manage business unit. Manage business unit. So it is, even though it is created by the system based on our rapid, so it is connected with this business unit to this legal entity. This legal entity has been already connected to this ledger. So all the tasks will be completed by system, but still I want to check it out whether it is created properly. I'm just review if necessary. The bold color, we are doing some kind of a setup. So let me check. Yes, A00 business unit, it's got created. Let me click on edit pencil icon. So why I'm demonstrating this? Rapid means some of the area will be done by the system automatically, but default set will took it from like, common set when we are uploading through our rapid, but we can't change here. Then where it can be changeable. So that's the reason your trainer is explaining the difference between individual task and rapid task. Clear? So now I can select my location from the list of value. The one I created just now, and then save and close. And then save and close. So assign business unit, business function. This task, it is going to verify the association, this business unit under which legal entity and ledger, which legal entity or which ledger and legal entity. So all should be enabled. It is enabled by the system automatically. And this is also there. You people are not enable this checkbox. I'm going to enable this checkbox. So it indicates it is a profit center. Also, this particular business unit, it will operates under one legal entity. Raja, clear? It will operates under one legal entity. What is this particular checkbox during our AP manual transaction? I will explain. Let me save and close. Let me save and close. So now I want to change my RDS, which is not possible under so at the time of defining our R in the editing of our business unit window. So now I'm going to override all the tasks, but you people are straight away set as a default with respect to your RDS. Now I want to change it manually. When you are using a common, so please make a note of it. Your account side, common, it won't work. You should use enterprise, either user define or enterprise has to be used. Either user define or enterprise has to be used. So during our AR, some other off the line, I will change it everything. So at the moment, I'm going to start payable. So let me change payable. It is my RDS. Remaining, I will change it later. Remaining, I will change it later. But you people are already completed. So enter your question. What is that? So when we are using a rapid upload, so which is the RDS will be coming at the time of defining our business unit by the system, then common set will be defaulted. It can be overridden under set assignment window. Clear? The last task, we have to convert our implementation user as an employee user. For that, we have to convert our legal entity as a legal employer, which I have not completed yet. Now I can go to manage users. Everybody try to understand why we have to associate our legal entity to LDG. If not, what is the problem? Listen carefully. Ajay, any questions you can stop me. Dot EMP. And then link the user in and then select an employee. I'm going to type my legal entity. Sorry, no legislative data group associated to that legal entity. I'll repeat, no legislative data group, it's associated to this particular legal entity. So if you don't want this kind of error, what is the next step? First step, during at the time of creating our legal entity, so payroll unit and legal employer checkbox to be enabled. Second, we have to associate our LDG to our legal entity association. So that is the reason your trainer says like a steps, but why you should know, right? Still, I'm not going to complete this. Another error also I want to show you during our payable. So this is how I completed our task. At the moment, Bhaskaran is not converted his user as a from implementation user to employee user. Let me check my other participant whether they completed. To be honest, from my heart, I'm telling you, you are all excellent. All the participants, you completed the task. I really appreciated. So what is the purpose you are coming here and what is the amount I'm going to get it from BWC? Proper digestion will come to me. Okay. Thank you very much. Right. So now I will move on to the first topic of our today's session. Is there any questions? Participant, is there any questions? Is there any questions?
No.
Thank you, Raja. All right, we'll continue. So hereafter, Raja, I will give any instance hereafter. You can use the existing chart of account or take this and given the template to you, enjoy. Quickest mode, you can do that. Even your company is asking for a demo, right? More easy. Take Bhaskar and Excel. Do changes with your company fix or whatever it is in 11 places. Zip 1, zip 2. Colors. These are all the bold color and the red color only. Properly review and do some X, Y, Z. That's all. Clear? So now I'm going to start. Everybody listen. Payable module. Sir, why payable module straight away? Raja, I can teach you general ledger first. Long back when I started taking the classes in general ledger, the participants are making a mistake in cross validation and security rule. They are unable to do a proper practices in the payable and other modules. So also instead of without getting an information from subledger, why we have to pass an adjustment and all. So it's very tough to digest. So that's the reason I'm going to cover. So my training methodology after overview is completed, AP, AR, cash management. So without AP, AR, there is no cash management. Even in cash management, the BRS will be explained to you properly. If you want cash positioning and cash forecasting, definitely will be taken care of if time permits. And then fixed assets. And then in AP and AR itself, I will teach you two taxes. One is withholding tax. Another one is our VAT or like other transaction taxes. That is also I will explain. And then cash management, fixed assets. Finally, general ledger. Because of you are all experienced, one P2P, one O2C, one APAR netting, one expenses, one SLA mapping. So these are all, I will give my own recordings to you because 10 days definitely not sufficient. Is it clear? 10 days definitely not sufficient. I will give you straight away. Clear? Right. So now I will move on to AP class. Now I will move on to AP class. Nice. Super. Maybe somebody. No problem. We'll continue with our topic. When it comes, it will work. Meanwhile, I will raise a ticket. Maybe some maintenance or something like that. This is the problem for our training instance. Okay. We'll continue. Listen first. Payable. So what is the prerequisite for payable? What is the prerequisite for payable? So enterprise structure has to be completed. In that, business unit is very, very important. So without legal entity, ledger association, so there is no meaning of our business unit, RDS. So we are going to use our RDS for our class. What is the difference between our RDS and the common set also will be explained to you properly. Don't worry, I will show you. So what is payable in Oracle? So before getting to that, what is the prerequisite? Let me take the file name, make a note of it. Fusion Vision OU Payable Board. It's a checklist file. It is already sent it to you, but today I will send you. So these are all we already covered. Navigations, and then security, with or without implementation project. Individual tasks are through the Rapid. If you want individual task, it is there here. Individually, you can set it here also possible. Through the Rapid, you can do it here. And then up to account hierarchy over. Structure creation is completed for GL, AP, AR, any module we can say. Now we have to start with the payable. So all the participants, they have completed the first task, correct? Yesterday, the last task, it's nothing but payables first task. Why we have to convert our implementation user as a legal? I'll prove it. Second, we have to assign the role. So these three we already associated. For UAT instance, 3 roles related to full GL. For a training instance, 5 roles related to training. This is not for a setup. This is for our transactions. 3 roles for payable and 1 role, it's an abstract role for AP module. Abstract role for AP module. One for supplier creation, another one for supplier approval. Both are abstract role. Second, cash manager, it is for our getting a access for our associating our business unit to our bank account. So these are all for transaction purpose. This is already added by your trainer to your user. But Bhaskaran user, which is not there. Bhaskaran user, which is not there. So now, what is the next step? We have to provide the data access. We have to provide the data access. Why we have to give? This is for transaction. Which entity, that particular user and role they are going to access. This is already completed by your trainer, but data access is mandatory for even you don't have an IT security manager. You have to follow this. Clear, everyone? You have to do that. So what is the first task for our class? Please make a note of it. So you have to go to setup and maintenances. Setup and maintenances. Otherwise, I can take. Yesterday I did 47. 47 or 43. So we have to navigate to our manage data access for users. So different role you will get for so inventory access, asset book access, and then you can say intercompany access, ledger access, likewise business unit access, separate also there, but we can use like a generic. This is controlled by our user and security functional area. So now I'm going to click on here. So ensure if you have a role, then you can attach here. So I can select general ledger. You have to give data access related to your ledger. So your ledger. Sometimes it's case sensitive. Raja, comfortable? Comfortable? So all the 5, we have to follow this. Second, you have to give for payable. Second, you have to give for payable. Accounts payable manager. Accounts payable manager. You have to follow this, which is not assigned here. Let me do it. So go to my tools, security console. Security console. Username. I just select. So GL role, it's already there. GL role, it's already there. So now I'm going to add payable. This is already added to you all. So accounts payable manager. Accounts payable manager. Payable supervisor. And then specialist. And then specialist. Supplier manager. And then supplier administrator. Cash manager. GL is already there. So let me click on done and then save and close. Now I have to provide the data access. Now I have to provide the data access. Setup and maintenance. Manage data access for users. which is already done behalf of participant. Your trainer is already created a user and assigned the role. Now I can give 12, 10. Accounts payable manager. Business unit A00. Same user. Accounts payable. These are all the tasks. GL you have to do. Participant, GL you have to do. And then similarly for payable and cash management, you have to do. Supplier manager and administrator, it's optional. Supplier manager and administrator, it's an optional. No need to give because it's an abstract role. It's an abstract role. Then I'm going to select cash manager. In latest 24A onwards, you can't assign business unit. You have to associate legal entity. You have to associate legal entity. Why the legal entity has been changed from business unit during our cash management class, I will explain. Now I can click on save. After user roles, data access completed, we have to do our LDAP program. We have to do our LDAP program. The LDAP program, it will synchronization. Some companies are using LDAP. Some company they are using like send pending LDAP request. That is also possible. So mostly in this initial user under FSM, if you click this particular user and role synchronization, it leads to your scheduled process, retrieve latest LDAP changes program. Straight away, you can submit. Straight away, you can click on submit. Now we are ready set for our topic. So we are ready set for our topic. So the next topic. So what is procurement agent? Why we have to create? What is payment term? Everything I'm going to explain one by one. One by one. So before that, I'm going to explain what is application flow for payable. I'm going to explain. What is application flow for payable? I'm going to explain. What is application flow? So how Oracle they have given enterprise structure flow. Similarly, application flow also we can do. It will defaulted some of the information. It can be accepted or overridden. So the lowest is the highest at the time of our execution. So for that, Oracle they have given application flow for our payable module. Likewise, a relevant module I will teach you. So Fusion payable point of view, what is the application flow? Everybody, you should know this. Otherwise, you do not know where the information it will pick. Volume can be overridden, but many things it will defaulted from some of the three options automatically. So normally this yellow color for one-time setup. This is for super user setup. And these are all, it is nothing but our transactions point of view. These are all, it is nothing but transactions point of view. So common option, invoice option, payment option, supplier, address, site assignment, invoice header, and then invoice line, distribution line, and installment line. Very, very important. Why Oracle they have given? You can give a liability code for all one business unit. If you have a 10 business unit, 10 times you have to follow this. 10 times common option. So when you are going to set some informations in your common option or some payment term in our invoice option. So I created a Dell supplier, one site. So site level for New York, I have not modified any payment term. Dell supplier level, I selected some payment term. And then HP, there is no changes. For all supplier, the payment term is 30 days payment term. Anybody can tell me for this supplier and this side, what is the payment term? Many people are worked in payable, right? 30 days payment term is absolutely right answer, because so the flow, it will come from top to bottom. Execution point of view, system will check here, it will check here, it will check here. If not, it will take it from here. Got it? Clear, everyone? Super.
Yes, yes.
Now, for this particular supplier, this particular site, what is the payment term? Himanshi? Anyone? Pavani?
Sorry, sir. Again.
No, Raja.
0.
Raja?
50.
Dell supplier, we have a two site. One is New York, another one San Francisco. Supplier level 15 days payment term. This site no changes. This site immediate payment. Clear?
Yes.
So now my question, listen carefully. For a Dell supplier New York site, what is the payment term?
15.
Absolutely right answer. So system will check here. No changes. No changes. Yes, it will stop here. It won't go up to this level because it is overridden in your supplier level itself. Clear?
Yeah.
Super. For San Francisco, anyone? For San Francisco, what is the payment term?
0.
Immediate.
0 is the payment term. Absolutely right. So because of the payment term only, we are not doing this application flow. Many of the account code or many information, it will come from here. If not, system will check here, it will check here, it will check here, it will check here. Otherwise, it will take it from here. Clear? That is why it is called application flow.
Okay.
So prerequisite for common option. Okay, ma. Himanshi, no problem. You understood, right? Better. Nice. All right. So before getting to the transaction, without this setup, you can't create your supplier. Without a supplier, you can't enter. So what is payable module? Predefined supplier, either a goods or a services rent by your supplier. We are going to create a invoice, validated and approved invoice eligible for making a payment. Without a predefined supplier and invoice, we cannot make a payment. This is the limitation of our payable module. So straight away I want to make a payment, not possible under Oracle Payable. So first step, supplier has to be created. We can't create a supplier because around 108 attributes are there. We can't select one by one. So that is why we are going to complete this option. Then it will defaulted here. It can be accepted or overridden. One supplier, one or multiple address, each address, one or multiple site. What is address? What is site? What is site assignment? Everything I will explain in the respective class, in the respective topics. Right. So now I'm going to explain. So what is our payment? What is the prerequisite? What is the prerequisite for our common option? So go back to our agenda. Listen, everyone. Listen, everyone. So lab for the participant. Yes, they have to do this. This Excel file I will send you. Why? Because roles and user creation is over, and assigning of your converting of your implementation user also over for you. But that instance, unfortunately, it is under maintenance now. No worries. So one more time I will show you. So now I can go to where straight away LDAP program also completed. I'm going to create a procurement agent. So why I'm going to create a procurement agent? If not, so we are giving a, see, supplier manager, it's an abstract role. We are not giving any business unit access to supplier manager. So how the system will identify So that is why Oracle, they have given an workaround like a purchase officer, more than one or one business unit, if you are going to associate through the agent privilege. So then that particular agent can procure the material possible. It is called buyer privileges in our add buyer privileges in our EBS. That is nothing but like our procurement agent. If I want to convert our procurement, create our procurement agent. So what is the first step? So that particular user should be an employee. So for employee only, we are going to give a privileges. So employee, you are not converted as a user, then there is no usage. So that is why I told the first step for AP class. So you have to convert or creating an employee or a person and associate. So now I'm going to create a procurement agent. So these are all the topic. One more time, when my instance is up, I can show you, because I thought of, I want to show you some kind of a error. Some kind of an error, but unfortunately, it's not working. No worries. Let me move on to our first topic. Procurement agent creation. So setup and maintenance. This is the prerequisite for common options and payables and procurement. So manage procurement agent. Manage procurement agent. Select your business unit as a scope. Select the business unit as a scope. Click on create. Click on create. I'm using one of the company's instance. So I can use my business unit. Agent name, Brooke. Brooke, this is an employee name. Brooke. Brooke. Just a second. Peter or something. Even that is I forgot. Wait a second.
Bhaskar, in this 37, why that names are coming like A02, A01?
Raja, it's a company's instance, pa. Navneet, it's one of the company's instance.
Okay.
They are UAT. They are using employee. In your company, they are using like an employee email ID and all, na? That's right.
Yes. Okay.
But luckily, I created one structure and kept it ready. So that's why, in the absence of any instance, at least I can continue my topics, right? Plan A, plan B.
Yeah.
All right. So go to my user. And then 12, 10. Brooke. This is the employee name. Okay. Brooke. Okay, only one name. Nice. Otherwise, I get given the same A00, whatever it is, which I don't want to disturb. Okay, at least they have given some instance for like it's working for more than 4 months. I can use it like a backup. Okay, all right. Now I will move on to setup and maintenance. Raja, you have to follow with your own employee name what you created under manage users. Clear? Right. So manage procurement agent. Manage procurement agent. Click on create. You have to use your number as a procurement. Your number as a procurement BU. Your number tab, it's nothing but your agent. Instead of, I'm going to use Brooke. Brooke I can select. Then defaulting I can select here. So what are all allowed for this agent, I just enable for a training. Other agents document, I'll got a full privilege for purchase order and kind of like a requisition. It's an optional because I'm not going to cover purchasing. But anyway, I just selected. Without that, I can't do supplier address site assignment. Site and site assignment. So now we are ready set for our procurement agent. Now I will move on to our payment term. Lookups. Likewise, many setups I'm going to explain. Payment term. When we are going for a payment term, please make a note of it in our Oracle Fusion Payable. RDS control only one object or only one screen. I'll repeat, for Oracle Fusion Payable, controlled by only one screen by RDS. That is called payable payment term. Remaining few screen, some kind of a set we supposed to use, there we can use common. Remaining many screens, it is not controlled by RDS at all. I will repeat, RDS controlled only one screen under Oracle Payable module. For that, let me navigate to set assignment window. Manage business unit set assignment window. Set assignment window. In the set assignment window, so you can see that all are I selected to my RDS. All are selected to my RDS. To explain this topic, instead of payable payment term, I can change it to common set for our class. Just a second, don't do this. Only to explain, if it is a common, what is the plus and minus? If it is my RDS, what is the plus and minus? I want to explain. This is not a lab, it is only overview. Now I can move on to manage payment terms. Manage payment terms. What Oracle says, especially for payable module, either you can create a payment term, your own. Otherwise, what are all the seeded payment term, you can associate your RDS and you can enjoy. You can associate and then RDS and enjoy. So I already created immediate without discount one payment term, which is associated to my RDS. What is immediate payment term? So entire 100% has to be paid within that particular same day itself. Immediate means it is equivalent to cash payment. It is equivalent to cash payment. So there is no discount. Totally 3 discounts are available. No changes compared to our EBS. So discount I created one more payment. It is nothing but like, same 100% zero, then 10%. 10% the same day. My RDS got associated. And then 30 days payment term. Instead of 0, I set it as 30. Association of RDS mandatory. If you forgot, it is none of the set. Set means what? One or multiple business unit got associated. That is why it is called set. In Bengaluru, set dosa means 2 or 3 dosa they will give. That's all. All right. Now I can go to with the discount. And then with the discount. What is that? So 10 days, 10%, 20 days, 7%, 25 days, 5%. Likewise, all the 3 discount which I captured here. This all you can create your own. Otherwise, you can, when I completed the task, you can get an access also possible. How you have to get an access, I will show you. Then immediate payment term, you must, I'll repeat, you must get an access for this, because many of the seeded or a legacy system will take a system oriented payment term. So that is why Oracle, they have given in Fusion Payable module, they have given RDS association under bottom in the line level, not in the header level, in the line level. What is the advantage? You can very well associate your RDS possible. So that means either you can create your own payment, RDS association. Otherwise, you can use common under set assignment window. Otherwise, even what all the payment term has been created by Bhaskaran, you can create your own payment term. Otherwise, you can associate your RDS also possible. So now I'm just created or show it to you 5 payment term. Out of 4 I created, 1 I borrowed. Now I will move on to the first topic, common options. Common option. So before that, let me complete our pay group. Let me complete pay group. So what all the payment term has been created by your trainer? Number 1, immediate, seeded. We have to our RDS association. to be completed. The remaining and all your payment term or Bhaskaran payment term. So immediate without discount and then with discount enough. With discount 10%. If you want, you can create 30%, etc. Otherwise, optional. So this is the seeded one. You have to get an access. These two you have to create your own. So RDS association mandatory. RDS association mandatory. Now I will move on to pay group. First of all, what is pay group? What is supplier lookups or supplier type? Let me explain first. So the supplier lookups very useful for your reports, for grouping of our supplier, uniqueness related to our location or like a supply of goods or like our approval or invoice limit, etc. So in this case, so the supplier type not only for a report for grouping, even for at the time of your automatic scheduled, like payment process request, very well possible. It called payment manager. So we have like each supplier one invoices. A supplier, B supplier, C supplier, D, E, F, etc. These two supplier coming under raw material supplier type. C and D coming under consumable supplier type. E and F, it's coming under other supplier type. This manufacturing pay group, all this A to D, it's coming under manufacturing pay group. E and F, it's coming under other pay group. So now I'm going to run a payment process request. If I run it for B supplier, how many supplier invoices system will pick? Anyone? I'm running automatic payment process request. The parameter I've given, the supplier name, it is called B supplier. How many? Each supplier have one due invoices, I told you. So how many supplier invoice it will pick if I select the parameter called B supplier? Anyone?
One.
Absolutely. Easiest answer, right? If I choose raw material supplier type, how many supplier invoice it will
Two.
pick?
Two.
If I choose manufacturing pay group, how many supplier invoice it will pick?
Four. Four.
So for that reason, I'm going to create, Raja, the purpose we should know. Otherwise, why we are creating each topic, you have to ask your question, why we are doing, where we are going to place, what is the advantage. Clear? Clear, everyone? All right. So now I'm going to create like a manage payable lookups. Manage payable lookups.
So Bhaskar, like pay group is only used at PPR only, like, or is there any other use also?
Supplier type can be used for many purposes, but pay group can be used only for paying purpose grouping. That is why it's called pay group. Got it?
Okay.
So now the question. For a pay group, what is the reference data set I supposed to associate? Anyone? We created our own user-defined RDS. Can I assign my RDS over there? Anyone? Yes or no?
We can, but we need to define then values also.
Raja, I'll repeat. Oracle for a payable fusion, they have given only one screen under RDS. I told you that is called payable payment term.
Yeah.
Other few screen, we can't use user defined. By default, we have to use common set. If not, we have to leave it as blank. Clear?
Yeah.
Understood? Super. So now I can click on payable lookups. So in that payable lookups, I'm going to search for like a pay group. Pay group. Pay group. In that, can you see that? we have to create. Everybody please make a note of it. Your number domestic, you have to create. Please make a note of it. Your number domestic associate common set. Why? Because other than your payable payment term, many places if the RDS is mandatory, you should use common set. If I use mine, what will happen? That is our next question. Got it? Himanshi.
Yes.
It is for all. All means common set. Correct?
Hmm.
So other than payable term, payment term. So other places, if the RDS is mandatory in payable, we should use common set. If it is not there, then you can leave it as blank. Clear? Second,
Yes.
move on to our like a supplier type lookups. Supplier is owned by Infusion. Procurement, you have to change it to procurement and then you have to paste. Manage supplier type lookup. Bhaskaran, if I forgot, what will happen? There is no such tasks are available. There is a message will come. And then I can search here because I think already I completed. Let me check. It is like a supplier. So Bhaskaran supplier enable. There is no Raja. Normally the supplier type and pay group seeded given by Oracle. Apart from that, if you want to create your own group, you can come to pay group task under payable and procurement. We can go for our supplier type lookup. Clear? Noted everyone. So go back to our Excel. I can give you. So manage supplier type. It's an optional but mandatory for our tax authority. At least one tax authority, it's not there. We can't conclude our, especially withholding taxes and all. And then lookups, standard it is already given by Oracle as a seeded. Otherwise, if you want, we can create our own domestic. And here I say our own supplier. If I say A00, you can use your prefix. Offering must be procurement. Next, I will move on to common option. This is our first application flow for our class. First application flow for our class. Everybody, let me show you. You please make a note of it. Then remaining and all. I will explain one after another. So let me navigate over. Numbering, I don't want. So straight away, I'll go to configure common, manage common options for payable and procurement. Instead of procurement, I'll change it to financial and then manage common options. These are all lab for you. Manage common options for payables and procurement. If you are using Rapid, all will be taken by system. If you are using individual task, everything you have to write it. Please take a snap. Otherwise, write it. Even you can use kniping up to currency conversion. Please take a nap. Why we have given, I will explain after this. Done? Nelmer?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, done.
Super. Second, from expenses accrual to our additional information, we can go for one more. Done? Super. Sir, Dev 58, 502 bad gateway. Can you check it out? Around 1026, 1026. Please check, please check. Thanks. So listen everyone, one by one I'm going to explain. Take and write. So these are all you have to do. Once our server 58 is up, you can do the lab maybe in the evening. So first one, liability code. Raja, I know the account code. That is why I'm typing tuck, 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 tuck. Otherwise, in real time, we can't memorize the account code. You have to search and type. These are all your trainer is already created through the Rapid. It came automatically. Clear? So why we are giving liability code here? What we are getting liability code will be defaulted to the next lower level called supplier site assignment. There you can accept or overwritten. Then in the invoice header, it will be defaulted. There you can accept or overridden. Even in supplier side, if you are not overridden or invoice header, it's not overridden. This account code will be defaulted from there automatically. Why we have to do this liability? So Himanshi, she asked accrual based accounting. What is that? If I want to purchase anything, so what is the entry? Purchase account debtor to liability, liability account debtor to cash. So purchase account, it will come from our invoice window, whether it is a stationery or a consumable or etc. Liability, it will come from where? So liability, it will come from common options via supplier side to your invoice header. Clear? Clear everyone? Super. Second, prepayment. Prepayment, it's nothing but advance payment. Raja, some people, they may received some mails. If not, there is one absolutely amazing kind of a document I will show you. What are all the accounting entries? For all module, I will give you. Accounting entry. It is very, very powerful. So prepayment means advance payment, advance to our supplier. What is the entry? It's an asset. So in my class, everybody please make a note of it. One serious and all asset, 2000 to 2999, it's a liability. 1000 to 1999, it's an asset. 3000 to 3999, it's an equity. 4000 to 4999, it's a revenue. Over and above 5000, it is for expenditure for my class. Is that clear? Expenditure for my class. This is how I designed it. So anything start with 2, it's a liability. Anything start with 1, it's an asset. It's an asset. Then anything start with this, either a income or expenditure. Income or expenditure. So that is why. So prepayment, it's an asset. You can easily identify intelligent key code combination. That is why it is called chart of account and accounting segment values. Clear? So what is the entry now? I want to make a payment to Nelmar. What is the first step? Advance payment. So advance payment. What is that? So in Oracle, so prepayment account debtor to supplier liability at the time of payment, supplier liability account debtor to cash. What is the net entry? That is prepayment to cash to which supplier? Clear? So system will take this account code, will be defaulted to your invoice line level, will be defaulted to via supplier site assignment. It will be defaulted to see invoice header liability, invoice line, it is called prepayment. Clear? Right. So next I'm going to explain. So what is the entry? So again, I explained already. So it is like a prepayment to supplier liability and then supplier liability to cash, invoice line, invoice header, common option, site assignment, invoice line, common option, site assignment, invoice header. Clear? Pratyusha, Sai, all are comfortable?
Yeah, yes.
Super Raja. Next one,
Yes.
future dated payment. Future dated payment, it's an optional. If you want, you can use that for bills payable. We can very well use. Anything if you are going to give a posted check or letter of credit, this is very useful. Again, what is the entry? So purchase account debtor to liability. And then I'm issuing a posted check. So 4th, I'm purchasing. 15th, it's a maturity. I mean, I'm giving like a maturity date. So then what is the entry? Purchase account debtor to liability at the time of 4th April, liability to future dated on the maturity. What is the entry? Future dated to cash. So FDP or payables payable, one and the same. One and the same. So these 3 account code only, it can be accepted or overridden under supplier side. Remaining code will be defaulted directly. Clear? Super. Super, Raja. Very nice. Next, I will move on to our PO rate gain variances. First of all, what is this PO rate gain variance or loss? So when you are using a purchasing module matching against the purchase order, it is useful. Otherwise, it's optional. We can call it as invoice price variances. So at the time of purchase order, $10, it's our price. 100 quantity I'm going to purchase. Purchase order value, it is nothing but $1,000. So now because of price hike, so it is like a $1 because of the tolerance, it is accepted. So now what happened? So we are getting a bill. We are getting a bill for 1,100. 1,100. So how the entry? So purchase account debtor 1,000. So loss account debtor 7842, loss account debtor 100, and then to supplier liability, it is 1,100. So the price variance, expenditure, it will be debited, income or a gain, it will be credited. You can give a same account code or a different account code. That is also possible. Discount taken. What is the entry? So this is not a trade discount. It's a cash discount. The entry will be cash account. So purchase account debtor to discount. Purchase account debtor to liability. Liability to cash. If it is no discount, entire 1,000 has to be paid. 10% discount, 0140782500. It will take it from our common option straight away. It will take it from our common option straight away. Clear, clear, clear. Similarly, there is a different line types are available in our AP module. One is like a item. Item means we can use distribution set or the account code for original what we purchased. Second, tax. This is a transaction tax. Third, it is called miscellaneous. And then even freight also it will come. These are all positive mode we are going to add. So withholding tax, it is coming under like a negative mode. Prepayment, if you are going to apply, then it will coming under negative mode. So this tax is freight, miscellaneous and all. If you are giving an account, it will be defaulted automatically. Otherwise, it can be accepted, or you can enter manually at the time of entering the transaction also. Any difference in prepayment, the tax account, that miscellaneous, it will go. Retainage, it's nothing but retention. So at the time of your invoice creation, we are just retain some amount like a 10%, and when the quality checking completed, then only we are going to release. So when we are using a purchasing module, it is useful, otherwise optional. Then why, Bhaskaran, whenever you are telling like, this is related to purchase, this is related to purchase, reason it is the name itself, common options for payables and procurement. That is why so many of the procurement taxes also very well available here. Clear? Clear, everyone?
Yes.
Super. Next, I will move on to retainage. What is the entry? Retainage. So at the time of purchase account debtor, you can say that purchase account, I will show you. Right, I think just now I show it to you. Right. So retainage. Purchase account debtor to supplier liability. Assuming 25,000 I have to pay. 4 months, each month 25,000 I have to pay. So normal entry, it is 25,000 will be debited, 25,000 will be credited. This is our regular entry. if it is retainage, if you are going to use 10%, what will be the entry? Purchase account debtor to retainage liability. It will take it from common option, and then supplier liability. It will take 25,000 and then 2,500, 22,500. We have to pay only 22,500 at the moment. So what is the entry for making a payment? Supplier to cash for 22. At the time of retainage release, again what will happen? Retainage liability account debtor to supplier liability, and then supplier liability account debtor to cash. So the entry will be 2,500. 2,500. In India, we can call it as retention. Most of the construction company they are using. Is it clear? DLF using Oracle. Is it comfortable? Abhijan, comfortable, right? Super. So the next I will move on to our automatic offset. Automatic offset, when you are using more than one BSV, your trainer, he already explained. So how many business unit, if you want, you can create here. Let me go here. So for example, this is the way I created a structure example. So if I'm going to create a business unit for TCS, one legal entity, TTC, one legal entity, TPC, one legal entity. So 3 legal entity can share one ledger. If you do business unit creation, so we have to create each TCS one business unit, TTC legal entity one business unit, TPC one. So 3 business unit. If you are going to create from in this case, what will happen? On site, you never get a separate supplier balances. So what will happen? You are going to consider one common options only for TCS. So totally 3 common option we have to create. Instead of, if we are in this scenario, what will happen? In this particular business unit, we can use either a company code 01 or a 2 or a 3. So more than one BSV, we can enter the transaction is possible. In that circumstances, then automatic offset, it is very, very important. Automatic offset, it is very, very important. First of all, what is automatic offset? I can show you. So if I'm going to do it for this level, BU to this level, so only for TCS, let me explain. So this is nothing but US legal entity at the moment. In that scenario, we have a company 1, company 2, company 3, company 4 are there. It is nothing but so domestic operation or other operation. So I can say domestic, export, trading. Invoice, materials are coming for all these 3 company, but liability, it comes for our domestic operation, 01 company. So debit and credit of the BSV, it's not tally, but debit and credit of the amount got tally. In that circumstances, how the accounting entry has to come, that is called automatic offset. That is called automatic offset. So automatic offset, when it is not usable, right? When we are using business unit for each BSV, debit one BSV, credit same BSV, automatic offset no use. When you are using one business unit, but more BSVs are involved for that particular business unit, then automatic offset very, very useful. So first of all, what is automatic offset? If we are using a none, it will create an intercompany payable and receivable entry. So 1 has to receive from 2, 1 has to receive from 3, 2 has to pay to 1, 3 has to pay to 1. This entry automatically it will create in the liability window. That is why it is called automatic offset. Offset means ulta side. When I select the second radio button, what will happen? There is no intercompany entry. System will track the company code automatically. What all the company codes are there in your main window are like a 01 2500, 02 3500, 03 4000. So this will Instead of, even though the liability it is coming from supplier side with 01 BSV, system will track the BSV based on this amount automatically. That is called primary balancing segment. Third one, no, Bhaskaran, some input tax credit and all it is there. Otherwise, I want to track except natural account, all the code, what are all there in the distribution line window, it has to come to our respective liability. Then not one except natural account, company code, department code, intercompany, sub account, product, etc. All the code it will inherit except natural account code liability. So in my experience, nobody is using the third one. First and second, depending upon the company, you can use. The first one, many companies are using. If they have a more than one BSV for a one business unit, it is very, very useful. So this is how that automatic offset is completed. What is one-time payment and currency conversion and all after the break? 15 minutes break. Continuation of common options. Continuation of common option. Let me share my screen. So before break, I just completed up to automatic offset. Automatic offset, one business unit, more than one BSV, it is useful. Otherwise, by default, we can set it as a default call none. We can set it as a none. So one time it is useful when we are going to upload any kind of legacy kind of a transactions. It will take the liability here and the account code. It will take it from like a purchase account data expenses or purchase account data to liability. It will take it from here. If you are using one time, otherwise this feature it's not available like a manual creation, etc. Second, currency conversion. This is useful when we are using like a foreign currency transactions. So I told you we have to use default currency conversion rate type for our training, corporate management training. Realized gain, realized loss, any fluctuation of your foreign currency to functional, it will goes to that particular gain or loss account. Gain or loss account. Wow, it's working now. Let me connect first. Let me connect first. Wow, thanks. Thanks. It's working. Okay. Super. Raja, listen. So let me complete the common option and then I will come back to this instance. Okay, so realized gain or loss, I told you when we are using other than functional currency. So if it is a purchase order to invoice, invoice to payment, payment to clearance, then the difference it will goes to that currency fluctuation account. Expenditure accrual, this is very, very important for our purchasing as well as our real time. So accrue the expenditure, whether it will at the time of a receipt or at the time of period end. So it is, you have to specify when you are using a purchasing and inventory, this is very useful. Otherwise, optional for our trouble. Self-billing, there is an automatic invoice called ERS, evaluated receipt settlement. So morning I told you I'm going to give you one P2P recording. Raja, I will give you some recording. It is very, very useful. P2P, O2C, keep it with you. And then GIS, Global Intercompany System, full recording with the Excel sheet. APAR netting, and then expenses, SLA mapping, everything I will give you. Those who are already received I received personal email ID, they will be getting on the last day. They will be getting on the last day. Otherwise, I told the other people to share to your mail ID also. So evaluated receipt settlement also, there is a topic under P2P class. Single matching or like, shipment matching, specific shipment matching or distribution matching or like, receipt of goods matching and ERS, all are, it is captured in that recording. Legal entity information, if you want, you can give, otherwise optional. It is very useful for our tax point of view. So my number US 123456. Location, it will come automatic. I mean, I selected from the list of value and then save and close. This is how common option has been completed. Common option has been completed.
Yeah.
Before getting to our invoice option, yes, any questions?
Yes, Bhaskaran. Can you please open that manage common options?
Please. Tell me.
What is if we uncheck this require conversion rate entry checkbox?
Raja, if you are unchecked, what will happen, right? At the time of, so if you are not enabled, you can't use other than your functional currency. Clear? So functional currency not editable. You never get your drop down at all. Got it?
Okay.
See, in the invoice workbench, there is a 3 blocks, correct? One is header, one is
Yes.
line, and then there is an installment as well as distribution line window, correct?
Yes.
In the invoice header, by default, based on our legal entity and business unit, what is the currency we set it through our primary ledger association, right? That will be defaulted. If the checkbox enable, that can be changed from USD to INR, INR to XYZ. Foreign currency allowed. Got it?
Okay.
Otherwise, it will be grayed off. Actually, in EBS, multi-currency one checkboxes that they kept it here like this. Got it?
Okay.
Anything
Yeah.
else?
And one more question, like this automatic offset. So, this is related to shared services, like one functionality we
Raja,
have?
absolutely you are correct, Navaneet. Absolutely you are correct. But I'll tell you shared services when it will come. See, I have a business unit. I have only one BSV. There is no meaning of automatic offset at all. Why?
Yeah, correct.
1 to 1. 01 will be debited, 01 will be credited. Correct, na? Right.
Yes.
So, one business unit, I have a multiple BSV such as 01, 02, 03, 04. This is useful for our class. Why? Because we created a legal entity only one. We created a business unit one, but we associated this legal entity for company code. Correct? In that scenario, 3 more than one. Even in this scenario also, if you are using all company code will be debited, all company code will be credited, there is no meaning. Clear? But more than one company code will be debited, one company code will be credited, then this automatic offset is very useful. Shared services. Clear?
Okay.
Are you comfortable? So when you say shared services, more than one business unit will come into the picture. So purchase requisition from one BU, purchase order from another BU, and then payment from another BU. Or Raja, clear? If that is the case, you have to give a multi-business unit access control. Otherwise, it's not possible. Correct? That is one part. Within a business unit itself, if you are using more than one company code, for example, 01 company code, 25% has to be debited, 02 company code, 75% has to be debited, but paid by or liability created for 0. Raja, supplier point of view, they know only one company. They never bother about company code and all. Correct? In that circumstances, when company code of your BSV with the different code liability got created, how the offsetting it is going to come? In that circumstances, it is much easier. Clear?
Okay.
Understood? Or you want some other example?
No, like, understood.
Fine. Any other questions, Navneet? Right. Thank you, Raja. So listen, instead of like a 37, again, I will jump into my topic. So morning, I started completing a review and submit. Correct? Like up to manage user, I have not completed here. Manage user, I have not completed here. That means person or employee not created here. Raja, one more time, common option and other things and all recapping. What you supposed to do the lab, now you can check it out from here. Clear? So what is the first step? I will go to my tools, security console, which you don't have a privilege. Clear? So we have to assign the role for GL, payable, and cash manager, and then supplier. So this role has been already assigned to you. This role, it is already assigned to you. So what I will do, I can search for my user. Instead of assigning one by one, I call A01 and I will assign. Correct na? That's better. So go to edit and then add and then search for user and then A01 and then add. So 20 or 19, it will be added. That means all roles are added now. Comfortable, payable, receivable, like how it is added to you. All is ready for Bhaskaran. Is employee name also A00 and user also A00.emp. Raja, don't confuse. This is the name of the employee. This is the user name. That is why I have given in the different instance Brook and 12,010 or whatever it is. Raja, clear? Fine. So now I click on done. At the moment, co-instance. All right, fine. Now, if you noticed, there is no employee got associated to this particular. Employee not associated to this particular. So now what is the first task? Quick recapping. All right. Number one, roles to be added, which is already added by trainer. Number two, data access. So I can go to my setup and maintenance. Setup and maintenance. I did some Springboard personalization. That is why many things is not visible. Otherwise, you have to scroll, feed, and you have to choose. So manage data access for users. Quickly, I will complete. Why I'm doing this, right? Because I want to explain one important topic related to our RDS1 pending, procurement agent is pending. So let me click on data access. So Bhaskaran tab, GN tab, accountant, data access, that is Bhaskaran ledger. Similarly, I can attach general accounting manager, ledger. Third one, these are all everybody has to do. Assigning of role not allowed for you because you don't have a IT security manager, whereas this is mandatory. And then for a training instance, two more also available, I told you. One is controller. Controller. Another one, chief financial officer. Chief financial officer. These are all related to GL. Second, for cash management, cash manager, legal entity. Now payable. Accounts payable manager. Sorry, this is data legal entity, na? Sorry. Wait a minute. Right. So these are all definitely not for our setup. This is for only transaction. Cash manager, legal entity tab. Next one, accounts payable manager, specialist and supervisor. Supplier manager, supplier administrator, definitely no need to assign any security context. and then save and close. I have to run LDAP program, synchronization program, log out and login. Let it run. Normally this is instance level. Normally this is instance level. So log out and re-log in. So what is the first step? Procurement agent. Raja, listen carefully. Why we have to create a procurement agent? Both I can show you. Listen carefully. Let me click on procurement agent. Setup and maintenances. Setup and maintenances. Manage procurement agent. Manage procurement agent. Click on scope. Select our business unit as a scope. Don't click on hyperlink. I told you there is a bug in this real time, even in UAT also. Don't click, it will go to edit. Select the left hand side, save and close. And then click on add. If you select your business unit, it will come as a procurement BU. But agent, it won't come. Agent, it won't come. So if I select my business unit, it will come. Agent, it won't come. Reason, we have not created a person at all. We are not created a person at all. This is the part one. Okay, Bhaskaran, why we have to create an agent? That is our next question. Let me go and create a supplier. Wait a second. Let me go and create a supplier. So procurement and then supplier. And then supplier. Everybody listen. Still, I have not started any topic. So up to completed common option, I'll try to do it in this instance, even in the break. That's not a problem. I want to show you some info. Then I will jump it into our regular topic. Right. So now clicking on creating a supplier. Creating a supplier. So test supplier. I can use prefix later. So spend authorized, corporation, country, United, and then states. United and then states. Create. So what will happen, right? After completion of your address, while you are creating a site, there should be an approval. That is also I will teach you. Another part, right? So if you are not a procurement agent, that site button or like a plus icon will be grayed off. That site icon button will be grayed off. So for that, so this particular user association along with the person, for that particular person, procurement agent privilege, it's not given, and then we can enjoy. So that is why, so we are converting our implementation user as a legal or employee user. Legal or employee user. Legal or employee user. So they did some kind of a maintenance. That's why it is little bit slow. Then it will be faster. So one more time, I will come with my prefix. So to explain why the procurement agent is mandatory. So that's why I came here. So procurement agent, if you are not completed, why? Because supplier manager, it's not a job role. For job role only, data access mandatory. Job role only, there is data access mandatory. So I can use some kind of like, so seeded kind of this and then save. Then go to our addresses. And then navigate to address. So if you go to site, there is a message. First, address has to be created. Second, you're supposed to be a procurement agent. Then only it will allow us to create. Let me click on. So that button will be grayed off. That button will be grayed off. Button will be grayed off. Button will be grayed off. Some company, they are giving some approval also possible. So that is also I can explain in the relevant topic. So what are all these address purposes also during our supplier topic? This is nowhere related to topic. I'm just telling you why the procurement agent mandatory, why that employee association user is mandatory. And then I can go to site. So if you are not a procurement agent, you can't create your supplier site. Got it? Clear, everyone? Clear? So that is the reason your trainer, he said, so we have to convert through the manage users, associating of person as a legal, second procurement agent, and then third, all the common option, invoice option, etc. Then we have to do this. Clear? Clear, everyone? Super, Raja. So now I don't want hereafter, just straight away cancel. Straight away cancel, and then I will move on to our setup and maintenances. So what is the first step? Procurement agent. One more time, I will do it. So this is over. This is over. I'm going to do procurement agent task. Before that, so manage users. Manage users. The concept is very, very important. How to do it in application, it's not a big problem. Okay. So now we can give so for a class point of view, I will use boss here. Name, but mail ID, that emp@gmail.com only. So you people, what you used, no problem. And then link the user and then send the password not enable. Employee. Now I'm going to associate. But in this case, I started explaining one issue. What is that? My legal entity, it's not associated here. So what I will do, let me cancel this. I can go to my association of LDG to legal entity now. So manage legal entity HCM information. So likewise, one info taka, we have to do like a connectivity. So click on select and add. And then search for our A00 legal entity. Select and then save and close. Select and save and close. And then leads to your update or correction. Update means layer, and then correct means override. Payroll statutory unit. Before this task, you should know, at the time of creating your legal entity, these two checkbox must be enabled, like a legal employer as well as statutory unit checkboxes. Payroll statutory unit checkbox. If not, you can't. It will throw some error here. And then submit. Now I can move on to manage user topics. Manage user topic. So these are all I completed already in 37 instance, but still one more time for my manage users. Manage users. To differentiate, I just given boss, but you can use employee only at gmail.com. And then link user, and then employee, and then Bhaskaran. Now it's accepted. Now it's accepted. Link the user now. link the user now. So this process we are associating like a person to a user. It becomes legal or employee user. Now I will navigate to manage procurement agent. Manage procurement agent. Manage procurement agent. Manage procurement agent. This can be searched either financial or procurement offering. Now I can click on create. So my procurement, more than one business unit also you can associate. Here we are associating like a name of the employee, not the user. Clear? We are associating to a person, not to an employee. I mean to a user. So that is why I have given a different name here. Clear everyone? Understood? Super. So now if you want, you can give full access to purchase order and contract, etc. Otherwise optional. So now I can move on to our first step, lookups. So manage payment terms. Manage payment terms. Then I will move on to lookups. In the payment term, I told you, so the seeded one, we have to get an access first. That is called immediate. Immediate, you have to get an access. So the seeded one, I have to get an access. So associated to my RDS. Associated to my RDS. Second, I want to create one immediate without discount, one with discount. Immediate without discount. Effective date for my class 1/1/24. Always 1/1/24 or 23. Installment entire 100%. The day itself we are going to make a payment. There is no discount associated to our RDS. Associated to our RDS. One discount I'm going to create. Enough. One immediate without discount. One with the discount. Enough. So pay here, paste here, and then discount 10%. 1/1/24. Click on plus 10, 100, 00. You can give like, Proxima payment term, milestone payment term, special calendar payment term. Likewise, what you can create as many payment terms from here. So 10%, 0 days associated to our RDS. Associated to our RDS. Anybody can you tell me for Bhaskaran RDS, how many payment terms will be available? Anyone? Bhaskaran RDS Association, how many payment terms will be available? Anyone?
One.
One?
No. It's immediate and 30. I think 3.
Immediate seeded one, I get an access. Immediate without discount one I created with my prefix. And then immediate with the discount 10% I created one. So totally 3 will be available. Condition in that set assignment window I have given Bhaskaran RDS. If not, what will happen? I'm going to show you. Clear? Pratyusha?
Yes.
So now I will move on to manage payable lookups. Manage payable lookups. So I can search for pay group. Click on plus everybody. These are all you have a lab. I told you already. So your number, domestic, common option only you can use. I told you. And then paste and then save and close. Second, it is lookups for our procurement. Manage supplier type lookups. Manage supplier type lookups. Straight away you can add. Already some lookups are there because I want to show you for some payments in the payment process request. So you can use like, standard or straight away one supplier. Copy, effective date optional. If you want 1124, meaning, and then description. Save and close. Save and close. Now I will move on to our manage common options. So these are all when you people are using like, individual task, everything you have to type it. Everything you have to type it with respect to our own business unit scope. So some of the code I told you in a different instance, which is already incorporated by your trainer. So that is why many info came, but remaining and all. So why this is not there in the rapid, which is not there in the rapid, which is not there. So these are all I captured manually. So where this is coming from, I told you through the rapid 2580. This you took already screenshot, so no problem. So you have to type it manually. When you do individual tasks, even none of the account code will be there. You have to type all the account code manually. Clear? That's understood. Okay, so now freight. During our freight topic, we will come back. Difference, I can say like a 7740. Okay, fine. Retainage, it is 2210 or 2220. None okay. None okay. And then liability 2210 7530. So this is for our foreign currency. So I'm going to give my department code 400. Corporate okay, receipt okay, VAT registration member state, it is United and then states. Location before our gone for a maintenance, which I already created a lock one that I will associate. Registration number. So US 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is how I just completed my common option. Next, make a note of it. Invoice options. So common options for both payable and procurement. Invoice option exclusively for payable. Exclusively for payable. So we have to choose our very, very important thing. If you are using other than common RDS related to payable payment term, I told you, so you should be very careful. This immediate, it's coming like, upgradation of EBS to Fusion Cloud. This immediate seeded, it will come automatically. If you are using your RDS, if the immediate payment you are not associated to your RDS, then you have to change it. Now, if I click on drop down, how many payment terms will be available? Anyone? The right answer, In the set assignment window, if I choose my RDS, 3 payment term will come. If I use common, then all the payment term, it will come here. Raja, clear? So only 3 is coming because of Bhaskaran is given his own RDS. Raja, clear? No, Bhaskaran. So Himanshi says, I want all the payment term, which I don't want this. Then in this case, you have to go to our set assignment window. Business unit, set assignment window. I can go. Now I can click on our business unit as a scope. I will move on to, instead of my payment, my RDS, let me change it to common set here. Raja, try to understand. Himanshi, you are there, right? Wait a minute.
Yes.
Just a second. Now I can click on. Now I can click on. I changed here, right? Fine. So now manage invoice options. Manage invoice options. Now if I click, it will come plenty. What are all the payment term associated through our which RDS, like, for example, by which RDS, like a common set, those payment term and all, it can be accessible by Bhaskaran. But what all he created A00 and all, it won't be available because that payment term which is not associated to common set. Clear? Clear, everyone? Super. Himanshi, understood, ma?
Yes.
Yeah, right. So now business unit set assignment, I will change it to my RDS. I will change it to my RDS. Remaining and all off the line, I will change it. So what is this? A customer account side. During our AR, we will play. These are all you did like an individual task you set as a default at the time of defining our business unit itself. It will come automatically. So now I will move on to, so manage invoice option. Everybody please take a snap first, then I will explain one by one. So I don't want automatic, grouping number as a mandatory field. So 1, 2, and then 3, and then this all is removed in our, this is a training instance. Okay. So invoice currency, payment currency, your pay group, priority 50 for our class, payment term, my number, or let it be immediate, and then only 3 will come. Oh, I have not changed. I changed it, right? Okay, fine. Term date, invoice, pay date, due, invoice date, accounting date, final matching, distribution override, transfer of PO. These are all I enable. Discount, I will explain next. Please take a snap for, I don't want always. So please take a snap for this setup. Do it. Then I will explain one by one. Completed? Completed?
Yes.
Thank you. So now I can go to settlement days. Click here. Approval I'll come to later. And then interest invoice, if you want, we'll take care of later. And payment request for our ARA refund, we can come back. So I can use my pay group and then remaining and all fine. So no changes in the description. Now take a second step. Prepayment, payment request. That's all. And then save and close. Yes, now it has come. Now it has come. So refreshing, it took some time. So that's why. Refreshing, it took time. You can use your own payment term also possible. Why I purposely using immediate, right? To explain which is the place or highest at the time of entering the transaction I want to explain. So in the Invoice option, I selected immediate. In the supplier site level, I'm going to select my payment term. So how it is changing in the transaction window, I will show you. So let me click on save and close. Now I can click on here. Everybody listen. What is the first? Quickly, I can give an overview. So number one, if you enable this, without enabling also, you can enter your grouping possible. When you enable in the transaction or invoice creation window, that field is mandatory. Asterisk will come. If you enable document category, you can change it from automatic to manual, manual to automatic possible. Document we have not set it. This is useful for two reasons. This is useful for two reasons. Number one, when the prepayment, there is a two type of prepayment. One is temporary, another one is permanent. If you want to change permanent to temporary, if you enable, it will allow us to change. Allow prepayment application. There is a checkbox. During prepayment, we will discuss. So if the checkbox has been enabled, the checkbox, it is editable mode in the particular more tab under invoice workbench. If I enable this, now if I enable, what will happen? A's invoice, A is the supplier, B is the supplier, both are related supplier. A's invoice can be paid to B possible. Condition, if you enable, you can override either at the time of in the invoices window, or you can override at the time of payment. That is another payment options also there. If you are not enable, if you do a relationship in the respective supplier window under invoicing tab, so what you are going to set it as a default or a primary, that only will come. You can't change it in the invoice under installment tab window. Clear? If you want to override, I'm going to create a supplier called Dell. Sometimes I can make a payment to Dell. Sometimes I can make a payment to agent. Sometimes I can payment to my HP. In that circumstances, if you enable, override is allowed. Otherwise, not allowed. But condition after that, you should go and do a relationship under supplier window. Supplier site window. If you enable split installment and changing of the payment term under installment window under invoice workbench possible. This is useful when you are using purchasing module. So when you are using volume of, transactions are purchasing. So what we are going to set it in common option, invoice option and payment option. More than 51% you can set it here. Remaining you can accept or overridden in the next lower level. If I enable, almost all the invoice should be matched. If not matched, system will place the hold automatically. So if you are entering a manual invoice, don't enable here. So during your supplier site creation window, you should enable or disable. So natural account also, if you want to give any kind of approval under BPM, you can do this. Otherwise, optional. And this is purely related to some people, when the purchase order, there is an attachments are there, NDR, XYZ. When we are matching, so what will happen in the invoice workbench, the several users, they are deleting that, attachment. If you want to prevent, you can enable these checkboxes. If you enable, what will happen? So when you are entering a duplicate invoice amount, it will place the hold. When you just click on OK and validate, it will be release the hold. Either you can enable or disable possible. So what is our default invoice currency, default payment currency? It can be override either in the supplier site level or during the transactions also possible. Pay group will be defaulted. It can be accepted or overridden in the next lower level possible. That is supplier site assignment, and then supplier site window. Priority, so 1 is the highest ranking, 99 is the lowest ranking. It is very useful for report as well as our payment process request. And then payment term, what we are going to set it here will be defaulted to the next lower level. Either it can be accepted or overridden. Term date basis. It is useful when your supplier is going to delay the goods. In that circumstances, how we are going to calculate your due date. So what Oracle they have given, invoice date, it is 1st July. Invoice received date, 10th July. Goods received date, 12th July. System date, 14th July. 30 days is the payment term. From which date the 30 days has to be derived for calculation of payment term, from which basis, that is called term date basis. Most of the companies see, because nowadays service oriented means there is no problem. Goods oriented, if it is 1 or 2 days delay, it's not a problem. More than 10 days or 15 days. So best practice, system date or goods received date. For our class, invoice date. Volume of the payment you are going to pay by way of due date or a discount date, that you can set it here. If you select it as a due date, and then in the respective supplier, you can set it to discount. If you select it as a discount date here, all supplier will be defaulted with respect to discount. Either it can be accepted or overridden to either a due or XYZ. Similarly, accounting date has to be specified. For my class, term date basis and accounting date, all are I set it as invoice. I don't want system date. The next one, when you are doing receipt acceptance days. Receipt acceptance days, it's nothing but it is very useful for calculating of your overdue interest invoices. So when we are going for a 30 days is the payment term, we are issued the payment and it is received by my supplier on or before like a 3rd day or a 4th day. So now on the 4th day, my supplier says, I will calculate 4 days interest. Now, if I say 5 days here, it is nothing but like a postal or XYZ. So what the system will do, your due date plus this 5 days, then only it will derive our like a interest due date for calculation. So receipt acceptance purely for our check payment nowadays, all are electronic, it is optional. Now I will move on to matching. So matching can be done against the purchase order. In that circumstances, 1000 quantities are there, 100 quantity has come, which is not good. In that circumstances, you can tell your procurement officer to stop the year after some of the purchases, but still it's not responded. So we can supersede your purchasing module through our final matching checkboxes. Normally 1000 quantities are there, 1000 quantities when we are going to match against the purchase order under AP module, final match will be enabled by the system automatically. If you enable this checkbox, even 100 quantity we are going to match, still 900 quantity that purchase order is open status, then you can enforce like a final matching for that particular invoice possible. It will create some politics, you should be very careful. And then, so like a distribution level and descriptive flexible or additional information can be transferred from when we are matching from purchase order to invoices, you should enable. Tolerance related to quantity for stock based, and then amount for our service based, goods based and service based. For that you have to create through some FSM kind of a tolerance, then we have to associate here. When you are doing a discount, it is like a cash discount. So whether tax to be included or excluded, freight charges to be included or excluded for calculating who will give a discount for those things, you should enable or disable. When you are going to use like a single distribution, it will take it from common option. Other two, it will take it from your account itself. It will take it from your account itself. So purchase account debtor to, so purchase account debtor to like a tax account and freight account and liability at the time of we are getting a discount. So what will happen? This will goes to our respective account itself. Single means it will goes to discount taken from common option. So prorate across all line, that 1000 will be allocated in their apportionate, except natural account remaining and all. If you are going to change with remaining and all, it will goes to our discount taken account. That is a third option. That is our third option. Tax except tax remaining single distribution. This is single distribution. This is prorate to across your all header line. And then prepayment for advanced topics, we will come back here. What is the payment term? It has to be defaulted. Approval. When you enable approval, then we have to do some kind of a setups and our EPM. either it is like a business unit level or many kind of approval can be done. That slowly will be explained as a separate topic. So when the allow force approval enable, so manual approval is allowed. So when you enable this checkbox, validation first, approval second, or approval first, validation second, accounting before approval or after approval. Likewise, you can select the preferences also possible. These are all grade of why, because we have not enabled these checkboxes. Similarly, for creating our interest, overdue interest invoices, so whether it is allowed for this business unit or not, in that circumstances, what is the account? Because it is an automatic invoices in our Oracle Fusion payable module. So in that circumstances, without an invoice, we can't make a payment. Even interest also, system will create an invoice and it will include for making a payment is concerned. In that circumstances, what is the account code has to be debited or credited? We have to specify here. And then payment request. It is purely AR requesting a payment to AP. In that circumstances, so we have to do some parameters in AR in the what is the payment term? Similarly, all in EBS, many things we captured manually. In Fusion, most of the things are coming automatically. Whether it is a check or electronic only, we have to specify during our AR. During our AR refund, I will explain. And the last one, self-service, we are not using. And then save and close. Is there any questions related to common and invoice options? No. Navneet? Sudeshna? Arshini?
Yeah, Bhaskar.
Himanshi?
Bhaskar, what was the budget date basis?
See, when you are using like, encumbrance, then it is useful. Otherwise, option. Got it? Funding budget.
Okay.
Funding budget means, see, when the budget funds is 10,000. So we are using encumbrance at invoice level. So reservation, so how it will taken care of. For that, the budget will come into the picture. Clear? Right.
Okay.
So next I will move on to our payment options. So allow payment to date before the system date. So today it is a 22nd Jan, but I want to make a payment for 21st or 20th, then you should enable this checkbox. Otherwise, so most of the banking institution, they are not enable this first checkbox at all. So you are given a fixed deposit yesterday. If they forgot, yesterday is 7.75 is the interest rate. Today it is 7.8. Or if it is 7.6, it has got reduced. So system will take today's interest rate for that particular FD if we are going to open only today. So pre-date not allowed for many of, because ERP means pre-date not allowed. But because of an adjustment, some company, they are enabling this checkbox. For a training, I'm just enabling. Allow supplier override, document I don't want, third party override. So what is supplier bank override? Instead of making a payment from ICICI, even like a e-filing income tax return in India, so we can give more than one bank for our refund. One bank it's failed, it will goes to another bank also possible. Likewise, if the supplier is we agreed for more than one bank account, if we provide, so we can insist at the time of making a payment. If the supplier says, okay, so we can make a bank or SBI or HDFC or XYZ possible. And then do you want at the time of like a payment, do you want a cash account or a cash clearing account? When you are using a check is volume, you can use your cash clearing account. If you select the first one, then what will happen? When Raja, when you select these two check boxes, I will repeat, when you select these two check boxes, later you can change it to cash possible. Once you selected a cash, you cannot come back to cash clearing hereafter. One time setup, once saved, Govinda, Govinda. Clear? So what is the meaning of this issue or clearing? Let me show you. Some of the company, after a BRS one day, they need a cash account. Then you can do that. If it is a check, it is useful. Electronic, definitely it's not useful. What will be the accounting entry at the time of issue? So Cash account, it will come straight away. If you are using issue and clearing, so at the time of issue, cash clearing will come. At the time of reconciliation through our cash management, then cash account will come. Do you want in transit or in reconcile? If you want to track, we can use the second or third radio button. Otherwise, first radio button. For a trainer, he is going to explain straight away cash account. That is why issue I selected. Again, foreign currency payment allowed or not. What is the default currency? It will comes to our payment process request window automatically. No bank charges, no enhancement, etc. So click on save and close. So this is how, like, common option, invoice option, payment option, setups overview completed. Is there any questions? Raja, what is the lab for my student? Still, I will tell you, listen carefully. So today, what is the lab? Your trainer, even though he is given an overview related to all, so there is no lab for this. So job role only by trainer, abstract role only by trainer, provide data access, lab, LDAP, lab, create a procurement agent, lab, and then payment term, it's a lab. Immediate payment term, you should get an access. Seeded. So you have to associate to your common set. These are all our RDS. These are all our RDS. Lookups, okay. And then common option over, invoice option over, payment option over. Now I will move on to distribution set. Make a note of it. So distribution set and tax, it's prerequisite for our supplier window. Tax I will explain on the last day of our AP, and then it is useful for our AR class. Second, so Monday, actually your company insisted me for some examination, some 10-15 questions MCQ pattern will be sent to your, through my vendor to your company. So Friday evening I will send, maybe Monday or Tuesday you may get some kind of, like, MCQ pattern examination. This is called post payable training. Then AR and GL together, I'm going to create some 20 questions. That is on 3rd February onward. 3rd evening, I will send it to your company. 4th or 5th, you have to appear for those kind of examination. Clear? Fine. All are, what all we are discussing in the class, those only, it will come as a questions here. So create distribution set. What is distribution set? Is it mandatory? No. There is a two type of distribution. One is 100%, another one is 0. It is nothing but skeleton. We can call it as in our EBS. So you know the account code, you know the amount of percentage to be allocated for an item line window, then we can use a distribution set. Account as well as percentage of amount. If you know account, you don't know. For example, in India, we are using a petty cash. So day by day, that amount, it will vary for puja expenditure, conveyance, food expenditure, cool drinks, etc., etc., etc. So in that circumstances, you can create our skeleton or a 0% of, like, distribution set. Amount, you can give a 0. If I associate it to a particular supplier or, like, transaction, then what will happen? Amount, it won't come. Account, it will come. User can type the amount alone. Today, your trainer is created a chart of account with the 4 segment in real time, like 11 or 17 segment. So this distribution set, it is very, very useful. So now I'm going to create manage distribution set. Distribution set can be used in 3 modules. One is payable, second one receivable, third one fixed assets. Fixed asset, many people are not at all using. So for a miscellaneous transaction, we can use it for our AR, but volume can be used for our AP. Clear? Right. So let me go and create like a 3 distribution set for our class. Everybody has to create this if you want to verify. Otherwise, no problem. So Bhaskaran business unit, Bhaskaran rent 25, 35, 40%. So it should be 100 or 0. Let it be 100. So 25, I can give 01210 7420. Raja, I know the account code. That's why I'm typing it. That is why I'm typing it. So click on plus. Don't waste the time. Please take a screenshot after this has been completed. Next, I will go 350 7420 and then save. Please make a note of it. This is like a full distribution set, more than 1%, but the total percentage should be equal to 100. Clear? It must be equal to 100. Nelmer, over. Thank you. Save and close. So why I'm looking for a face, right? Then only I can identify whether you completed or not. That is why I'm keep on telling my people should switch on webcam. More easy for your trainer to see the mind reading from your movements. But no problem. Okay, some people are attending from home. Some people are here in their internet. The choice is yours. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to create one single line 100%. Advertisement 100% single. 100, click here, and then 100, and then I can go 01, and then 175 7110. Save and close. Save and close. The third one, skeleton are 0% kind of a distribution set. So I got a mail from your company, 29th, there is no class. 29th of Jan, there is no class. Okay. I'll remind you on Tuesday. All right. So now let me click on save and close. The last one skeleton. You can say Bhaskaran, telephone 0%. Telephone 0%. Change it to 0. 2 lines I'm going to create with 0. 7450 and then 7450. Please make a note of it. Please make a note of it. So actually 3 distribution set I created. One for rent, multiple percentage, advertisement, 100%, all are percentage with account code. The third one, 0% with account code. That is called skeleton. And then save and close. Next, I will move on to supplier creation. Before supplier creation, I want to explain what is our approvals. Everybody please make a note of it. It's a training. In real time, approval will be there. Bhaskaran is just sending a supplier details to PwC team. So PwC team who is creating a supplier, whether he is approved or not, will be taken care of by like a single approval, parallel approval, like new registration or a modification or XYZ, likewise like a profile change request, etc. Some company, they will decide like, configuration itself, configure of your supplier registration itself. They will set it for which field and all when we are going to modify. It's not a lab. I'm just giving you some overview for supplier approval. So procurement is the owner for supplier infusion application. So in this profile change request, we can specify whether approval is required or optional. For spend authorized, approval is required or optional. We can specify. So normally, I'm telling you, normally what will happen? So for a training purpose, we can change it to no approval. Even if you say approval, I'll repeat, even though we will say approval. So what will happen for a training purpose? The approved, I say automatic. I will say approved as an automatic. So if I change it, it is like, instance level. So it is for everyone. Right? Fine. So no need to do any changes. Similarly, for like, there is a percentage supplier, percentage approval. There is a profile change request and registration approval. Normally, we will set it internal also. So internal supplier also, what we will do, we will set it as in real time, like approval, we will set it in training, we will say simply it is automatic. Simply we will say it is automatic. If it is a router means what's the problem will come. So if the router means what the problem will come, so it will show some error. It will show some error. Anything if you are modified, it must be deployed. For this deployment, you should have your supplier. You have supplier administrator role.